April 18, 1943. A line of P-38 Lightning schemes just above the rolling surface of the Pacific Ocean, engines roaring, propellers biting into the heavy tropical air. The fighters fly so low that spray from the waves seems close enough to touch. Inside one of those cockpits, First Lieutenant Rex Barber shifts uncomfortably. The heat is brutal. Sweat runs down his back, trapped beneath layers of flight gear. But discomfort is the last thing on his mind. This is no routine mission. Somewhere ahead is the most important target any of them have ever been sent to kill. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, architect of the Pearl Harbor attack. The strategic mind behind Japan's early victories. A man so confident in his nation's power that he once claimed he would dictate peace terms in Washington itself. Now, the Americans are coming for him. The squadron presses forward. The dark green coastline of Bougainville begins to rise out of the haze. Barber scans the sky, eyes moving constantly. Intelligence had been precise. Almost unnervingly so. One G-4M Betty bomber, escorted by two groups of 30 fighters, arriving at a specific location at an exact minute. The American plan is elegant and ruthless. 12 P-38s will climb high, forming a protective shield above. Below them, a four-man killer flight will ignore everything else and go straight for the bomber carrying Yamamoto. No second chances. They are moments from Bougainville when a calm voice breaks over the radio. Bogies, 11 o'clock. Lo, as if summoned on cue, shapes materialize between scattered clouds. But something is wrong. Not one bomber. Two Betty bombers fly side by side, each escorted by Zeros. For a split second, confusion ripples through the American formation. This was never part of the briefing. Which one carries Yamamoto? There's no time to debate. Take them both. Throttles slam forward. The Lightnings surge ahead, diving toward the enemy. Above them, the 12 covering fighters pull sharply upward, climbing fast to intercept the Japanese escorts. The killer flight continues straight in. Then another problem hits. Lieutenant Besby Holmes can't jettison his drop tanks. They cling stubbornly to his aircraft, robbing him of speed and agility. Barber watches uneasily as Holmes breaks formation, diving hard to shake them loose. His wingman, Raymond Hine, peels off to protect him. Just like that, the four-plane attack element is cut in half. 2 fighters, 2 bombers, multiple Zeros. The odds collapse, but the mission doesn't. Somewhere ahead, Yamamoto is minutes from safety. He is flying to inspect forward airfields around Bougainville, accompanied by senior officers, including his chief of staff, Vice Admiral Mato Mogaki. Mogaki is half asleep when one of the escorting Zeros suddenly flashes past the bomber's nose, slowing sharply and rocking its wings. Confused, Mogaki leans forward. The Zero pilot is gesturing wildly, pointing. Then the radio operator shouts a warning. Dive. The bomber plunges violently downward. Officers are thrown against harnesses as the aircraft drops in a desperate evasive maneuver. Outside, Zeros peel away to intercept 2 fast-approaching P-38s. Lieutenant Thomas Lanther breaks formation, climbing to meet the fighters head-on, guns blazing. Tracer fire crisscrosses the sky. Bullets hammer his aircraft, rattling the cockpit like hail on steel. Lanther holds his course until the Zeros finally break away. Below him, Rex Barber presses on alone. Ahead, the 2 bombers split, banking in opposite directions. Barber chooses one almost at random and dives. A burst of tracers slashes across his windscreen. A Zero has followed him down, firing from above. Barber forces himself to ignore it. He lines up the bomber, centers the gunsight, and squeezes the trigger. His P-38 erupts with fire. 50 caliber rounds and cannon shells tear into the bomber's engines and fuselage. Metal fragments peel away. Oil sprays into the slipstream. The Zero continues firing into Barber's aircraft, bullets striking wings and tail. Still, Barber does not let go of the trigger. If this bomber is Yamamoto's, nothing else matters. At the last moment, the pursuing Zero overshoots, streaking past. Barber seizes the chance. He closes in, hammering the bomber again and again, driving it lower and lower until treetops fill his view. Then the bomber suddenly pitches up, rolling uncontrollably. Barber jerks his aircraft aside as the stricken machine crashes into the jungle below, erupting into flame. A thick column of black smoke coils skyward. Barber looks back. 1 down, but there's no time to pause. 3 Zeros dive on him from above. He brakes hard, skimming the canopy, twisting and diving as bullets rip through the air around him. Impacts echo through the fuselage. Just as it begins to feel hopeless, he spots 2 familiar silhouettes ahead. Holmes and Hine. Barber races toward them, praying they see him. They do, and open fire. For a terrifying instant, Barber flies straight into a wall of friendly tracers. He holds his course as rounds streak past his cockpit. The Lightnings thunder overhead, guns blazing. When Barber looks back, the Zeros are gone. The sky is suddenly empty. He exhales, then turns back toward the final bomber. Holmes and Hine are already chasing it, flying low over the sea. Holmes pours fire into the bomber, pushing dangerously close as it stubbornly refuses to fall. Finally, he breaks away. Barber dives in immediately, lining up behind the wounded aircraft and firing a final burst. The rounds ignite fuel vapors. The bomber explodes. Barber flies straight through the fireball flames engulfing his aircraft, then bursts clear, somehow untouched. Ahead, Holmes and Hine are engaged again, fighting off two remaining Zeros. Hine's aircraft, riddled with holes, dives away. Holmes destroys one attacker. Barber arrives seconds later and finishes the last Zero. At last, the radio crackles. All aircraft head home. Far below, among burning wreckage, Vice Admiral Igaki claws his way to the surface. He is wounded, but alive. Along with two others, he reaches shore, the only survivors. Yamamoto was aboard the first bomber. He died in the air, before it ever reached the ground. His death sends shockwaves through Japan. The nation mourns. A state funeral is held. Crowds line the streets. Igaki never forgives himself for surviving. On the American side, the mission is celebrated, but not without loss. Raymond Hine never makes it back. His damaged P-38 fails somewhere over the sea. All participants receive the Navy Cross. Rex Barber survives the war. He dies decades later, on July 26, 2001. The mission that killed Yamamoto remains one of the most precise and consequential aerial interceptions in history.